Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 luxury high-end products that I think are worth your money and 5 luxury high-end products that I don't think you should spend your money on. I am mainly a high-end luxury channel. I try out a lot of things, and there's definitely a lot more to this list that I think are definitely worth your money, but I was trying to think of things that maybe you would get the most use out of, that I use a lot, so you're getting your money out of. If there's something in this that I am not talking about, like a Pat McGrath eyeshadows, I think they're worth your money. It's just not in the top 5 or whatever I thought of initially. So I don't want anyone thinking, oh, you didn't mention this. Is it not worth it? Anything I've ever said is worth it. I still believe is worth it. So just keep that in mind. And if I'm talking about something that you absolutely love that I don't think is worth the money, no problems, boo. We all just have different skin types, different likes, different needs. So with that being said, let's go ahead and I'm going to start off with the 5 things that I think are definitely worth your money. The very first thing is from La Prairie. Okay, this is an expensive, very, very expensive concealer. It is a concealer and a foundation, and it's even worse because I don't use the concealer. I only use the foundation, and I just ran out of this one. I had to suck it up and buy another one. I love this so much, and it is the Skin Caviar Concealer and Foundation with SPF 15. Nothing makes my skin look as good as this. And I'm serious, absolutely nothing. I get more comments about my skin. I get comments on video. I get comments every single time I wear this, and I feel good. My skin doesn't feel dry. I don't know what magic is in here, but to me, this is worth the over $200 price tag because of just how it makes me feel. And like, if I can feel this good and nothing can even come that close to it, I'm not kidding. There's nothing that even remotely comes close to the way that this makes my skin feel and look. That's why I was willing to repurchase it. I kept not using it because I didn't want to repurchase it. But then I started using it more and more, and I was like, forget it. I'm just going to have to repurchase. And so I did. But this is one of the #1 things that I just think is absolutely worth the money. Second, and also none of these are in any order, but this will come to no shock to anyone who is familiar with my channel. It is the Sisley Loose Powder. The shade that I use is number 01 Irisee. There's different shades, and I believe some of them are matte. This one is a radiant powder. Mine's a little all at the top right here. I use this and use this and use this and use this. I use it just about every day. The only time I don't use it is if I switch it up and I use the Hourglass Veil powder. But there's something about this that is just enough matte to blur and smooth my pores, but radiant enough to add the radiance back into my skin without looking like I have a ton of powder on. It makes my skin look perfected. This is the closest thing I have ever found to the original La Mer powder. I get asked all the time because the original La Mer powder is my holy grail. What are you gonna do when you finally run out of all your backups? This is going to take its place. I think this powder is absolutely beautiful, and because I only use it to buff, I really never set with this. And you can use it for both if you wanted to only use one powder, but I only use this to buff, so it lasts me a very long time. The Tatcha Silk Canvas. Now, there's a whole lot of hype behind this product, and it's for a reason, because just about anybody can use this, whether you're oily, whether you're dry, combo, anything in between. I use this almost every day. Like, I have it on right now underneath my foundation, and what I like about it is a lot of smoothing primers will make your foundation kind of grab or it's too dry. This is so silky and smoothing that it doesn't dry out my skin, but it gives me that smoothing factor that I need. It doesn't clog my pores. Like, it's amazing. I didn't think that a primer could be this good. I don't suggest this for somebody who is looking to do everything. Like, if you have large pores like myself and you need something to smooth here, this is going to smooth, but not nearly as much as something like the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. I use 3 different primers. That I am that girl. But this is one of those that is a heftier price tag, but I have barely gone through this. And I use it all the time. Like, you can't really see that on camera, but you need such a tiny little bit. And I put it on my cheeks, around my mouth, and my forehead. I skip my nose and my pores. And it makes my makeup last longer. It makes it look better. There's just some kind of magic potion in here that is just stunning on the skin. Next up, Wayne Goss brushes, and specifically for me, the Wayne Goss eye brush set. I believe the whole set is like $130. But I mean, if you take that down to, I think this is it, the 5 brushes that come in it. It's MAC price brushes with better quality. Like, these are so good. I have had them for a while. They have not shed on me. They have not lost their softness. They blend like nobody's business. When I tell you that these brushes are the ones that I would suggest to anybody, like anybody who needs a brush set that will get them for everything. The only thing this is really lacking is a packing brush, but really you can use the number 18 to put on something on the lid. Like this, I could use just this set and really never need anything else other. I need my MAC 242, but I'm fibbing a little bit, but this set for eyeshadows is just absolutely worth it in my opinion. It's worth the splurge. And I'm hoping that he comes out with another line, same hair, same style, like different style brushes, but along these lines, because I prefer this to the squirrel hair. The squirrel hair is still nice, very luxurious, but they're a little softer, whereas I feel like these are soft but do the work. So they blend really well, but they're never itchy, scratchy, ever. And the last thing is an eyeshadow palette, and this is like one of my ride or dies. I have actually gone through this palette one time already and repurchased it. This is my second one, and I've been using it to death lately. It's from Tom Ford, and it is the Cocoa Mirage. This palette does pretty much anything that you need other than color. And I know most people only go for like the neutral, natural tones. This is perfect. It's not too cool toned. It's not warm tone. Like this one is kind of in between. It's a slight warmth to it, but really the whole thing is pretty neutral. It works on everybody. And this palette, when I say blends itself, it blends itself. I have no problems with this. I never really realized how well this worked until I started working at Nordstrom, because before I had my stuff in my kit for my freelance, and then I worked for MAC and I used MAC shadows, and I used this palette on somebody, and that's what made me buy it. Was I got her eye done like that. It blended so well, and this was on a mature client, and it didn't emphasize anything that she didn't want emphasized, and she even loved it. She bought it. I just think that if you are looking for one luxury palette that is going to do everything that you need, it is the Cocoa Mirage. I love this palette so much. If they ever discontinued this, like if I found out tomorrow that this was being discontinued, I would have the whole La Mer experience, and I would buy every single, I probably buy 6 backups, because I figure 6 will last me a long time, right? That's how much I love this palette. Now let's move on to 5 luxury high-end products that I don't think are worth your money. Most of these I don't even have in my collection because I don't think they're worth it. So some of these I have bought and just gotten rid of. I have one of these still in my collection, but again, if you don't agree, it's fine. Don't get mad at me. This is just my opinion. So we started off with La Prairie for one of the items that I thought was absolutely worth the money. So I'm going to start off with one thing from La Prairie that I think is absolutely not worth the money. Now, you get a lot of product with this, but I still don't think it's worth the money. And it is the La Prairie powder. I have tried this several times. I don't get the hype behind it. I feel like Tati did a video on it. She loved it and it was talked about a lot, and then nobody really talks about it anymore. I personally feel like it's kind of cakey on my skin. It can make me look dry whether I have a matte or a dewy foundation on. It just looks like almost like I have put on a foundation and then put on a foundation powder on top. I don't know what it is about it, but it doesn't agree with my skin. I haven't liked it on a lot of people that I have put it on. Basically, like I never gravitate to that section for powders when anyone is asking me, you know, hey, what's a good powder? I personally would suggest either, like if you're wanting something more matte like that, the Chanel Loose beats it by 100 yards. The Chanel Loose is half the price. You're getting a good amount of product in there, and I just think it's so much prettier. This is one thing I do have in my collection, and I've spoken about this before. Visiart. Their Theory palettes, and I don't remember what they're new. I think it's like a 9-pan or something. I have not been liking them, and this one right here is the Visiart Theory in Minx. I remember getting this and feeling so excited about it because I touched these and I was like, oh my God, like this is so pigmented, so pretty. And then I went and I used it on my eyes, and I get the comments every single time. It's for, you know, people, MUAs and camera and this and that. I understand that. I get that. But I have cheaper shimmery shadows that will work on camera than Visiart. And I just don't think that these are worth the money. A friend of mine, I want to say almost a year ago, bought this palette and she was like, look what I got, I'm so excited. And I was like, I just have to go ahead and tell you that I think you're going to be disappointed. And she was like, but they're so pigmented. She goes, I'm touching them and they're gorgeous. I'm like, the mattes are stunning. I love the mattes. I love all the 12-pan matte palettes. I love them. Like, don't get me wrong. But I just don't think that these are worth it. And she got home, she tested it out, and she was like, wow, you were so right. I am taking this palette back. And I felt bad, but it was like, I'm not going to lie to her and be like, yes, girl, Visiart, yes, da 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 da. So I have kind of been like on a no buy for Visiart. I have not been tempted to even purchase anything from them because I feel like things have gotten a little inconsistent. I've talked about this in the past, but for me, those palettes are just not worth the price at all. I would sooner go and tell you to go get something from ColourPop. You guys seen like the little tree ornaments from Louis Vuitton? They've got the matte lipsticks, they had the glosses, and I think they have like a satin now. I have not personally bought these because $90, no. I don't like the packaging. I don't like that you can tie the thing around your neck. I don't like the little hole there. Maybe if it didn't have that aspect of it, I might have been tempted, but Kelsey has a few of these. Some people at work have a few of these and they love them. They're like, oh, the gloss is so pretty and the color is so pretty. And like the formula is nice, but it is not $90 nice. I'm sorry. Like, I don't get this. Like, I am not going to spend my money on that. And again, luxury, love it. I am willing to spend the coin on things that I think are worth it or that I absolutely love. And I feel like the Louis Vuitton, I feel like I say that wrong, but I don't think that these are worth it. I feel like you can get colors that are the same. I feel like you can get a formula that is the same or better. And yeah, that's just kind of my thought on it. The next one is from Guerlain. This is the Meteorites Perfecting Primer. I didn't spend my money on this because I was a little hesitant. I love the L'Or primer. I think that one's beautiful. But this one, I was expecting something different. I feel like this dried out my skin and probably made it look worse. I kept getting little samples of it because when I tried it at the counter, it felt funny on my hand. So I was like, I want to try this before I buy it because I don't like to return things. Like, not saying that I won't, but I just don't like to. And so I was getting testers of this and I was just like, every time I wore it with every single foundation I wore it with, like it made that foundation look worse. Like, I don't know what the magic is behind this perfecting primer, but it didn't work for me at all. And if it's worked for you, please let me know, because I haven't heard anybody talk about this, and it's an expensive primer that I don't understand. I feel like it makes your makeup look worse. So is it just me? And then the last one is gonna be real touchy. You guys are gonna be so mad. I know there are some fans of this fragrance out there. Keep in mind, my opinion. It's my opinion. I still love you. Please love me back. Okay. Jo Malone fragrances. Okay, you guys catch your breath. It's okay. Nobody have a heart attack over here. I like a lot of the scents. It's not the scent. It's not the pretty packaging. It's not the name. It's not anything like that. I got fragrance certified when I was working for Nordstrom, and Jo Malone is a cologne. I always just kind of thought cologne means it's for men. No, that's not what it means. There's tiers, you have eau de toilette, you have parfums, you have like all these things. Cologne is at the very bottom here, okay? It is under eau de toilette. And when I found out that Jo Malone is under eau de toilette and is that price, I refuse to buy it. Refuse. And it does not last on me at all. I hear a lot of people say that it lasts on them. So if it lasts on you, 100%, yeah, totally. Yeah, I get it. But I have a huge problem with spending that much money on a cologne. So for me, that's really the only thing. And I feel like you're paying more for the name. The fragrances are beautiful. Some of them are very unique. I love how they retire some and then bring out new ones. I think the whole thing is cool, but I don't agree with the price and it being a cologne. So don't shoot me. Maybe you didn't even know that. I don't know, but yeah, that concludes the list of things that I don't think is worth it. So let me know down below something high-end or luxury that you think is just totally worth the price. You don't care, you're gonna buy it no matter what. Or something high-end luxury that you absolutely think is a waste of money. Could not, absolutely not. Even if it's on my list of things that I think is worth it, there'll be no hard feelings. I get it, we're all different. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.